Thank you for joining Journeys with Joni, Financial Clarity Conversations, today and every Wednesday on Sunny 1450 and 1320.
Welcome to Journey with Joni. My name's Joni Rametta, and I'm here today with my co-host, Mark Clark. Join us as together we travel on the financial road to clarity. I'm excited about our program today. As a matter of fact, this is our first program together. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Joni. We're having fun. We're nervous. We're having a blast. And, I am thrilled to death to be here. And, I am really excited for people to hear the story of why Joni is where Joni is.
Well, Nepsis Advisor Services is located here in Sarasota, right off of University Parkway and I-75. Brand new offices. Everybody should come and check us out sometime.
Before the mall opens, right?
Before the mall opens, yes. The mall's going to create some traffic issues, absolutely.
So we have a fun office, and it's a little challenging getting into our office. If you come see us, well, I guess I should say when they come see us, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're going to have opportunities for people to come by and visit us.
We'll have plenty of opportunities for people to come by and visit us.
And we're going to talk about those today, a little later in the show, and on upcoming shows, as we're on the radio every Wednesday at 11:30, right?
Every Wednesday, 11:30. We'll be making announcements throughout the times on the different workshops and different events that we'll be having to educate all of our listeners.
The coolest thing that people are going to do is get to meet Joni, because Joni's pretty cool. We have a lot of fun with what we do. Yes, we're in the financial services business, aren't we?
We are in the financial services business. Absolutely.
So the listeners are dying to hear about Joni. Tell us about Joni.
Well, Joni's been in the financial business for over 30 years.
You're only 29.
Just a little bit over 29.
Not much.
But thanks for that compliment. Been in the business for about 30 years, helping our clients get from where they are to where they want to be, doing financial plans, doing investing, having conversations about what's important to you. What do you want to do with your money?
The really cool thing about you is you're a mom, right?
I am a mom. I'm a single mom, actually.
You're a single mom raising
2 teenage boys.
Isn't that a full-time job?
That's a full-time job. Raising 2 boys is a full-time job. Raising 2 teenagers is a full-time job, too. I have 3 jobs.
What are your 3 jobs?
Well, the boys, the teenagers, and then I work for a living. Somebody's got to bring home the paycheck.
Yeah, because they sure spend it. We were out to dinner last night, and I didn't notice any one of the boys asking who's paying the bill. They just ordered.
And they ordered appetizers.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and the big steaks.
The big steaks.
Yeah, so big appetites.
So tell us, Joni, the clients that come to see you, you're a single mom, you're in the financial services business. Why'd you get in this business?
I got in this business because, well, one of the reasons I got in the business was because my father's been in the business for a long time. But the other thing was I like to help people. I just have a big heart to helping people do what they want to do, give back to their community, do the things that they want to do. And it's really very rewarding to help other people.
And, we always joke around, Joni and myself, the female perspective, they always tell me, folks, that I have no clue, which is probably true. They're all shaking their heads in the studio. But from not just a female's perspective, not just from a single mom's perspective, not just from a breadwinner's perspective, but put those all together. And how much have you enjoyed helping your clients from that perspective, and kind of let the listeners know a little bit about what your experience has been with them?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful to see people come in with a little bit of money, wanting to do something really big in the community. It's been wonderful to watch families with kids growing up, going to college. We're funding the college plans. They go to college. They come out of college. They get a job. And the first thing I want to know is, what do they do to start saving? Because they watch mom and dad do the same thing. So it's a generational type of thing. You start with, one generation of the family, and sometimes you go up for the older parts of the family, and sometimes you're going down to the kids in the family.
And I know this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is just our first show, but what's the purpose of our show? We talked about this over lunch, but we want to have an impact on people as we do this show together. From your perspective, what's the purpose of this show?
Well, I think the purpose is to help us add to the education that people already have, help them make the decisions that they need to make, making really good decisions on their investments and all the different things around that. Anything that has to do with anything about finances, we want to be a part of that, helping them see the different choices that they have and making the right decision for their family, because it's not a one decision, one thing happens. Every family doesn't have to do exactly the same things.
Hey, I've never had 2 clients exactly alike. Have you?
No, not really.
Well, it is a lot of fun. I got to tell you, folks, it's a lot of fun working as a tag team with Joni, with clients, because it does bring a different perspective. In fact, we've been in front of clients before, and we've had a lot of fun debating over what to do, what not to do, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. There's always choices. I mean, you know, there's never a right or a wrong answer to most of these things, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. So just because you choose to do A over B does not mean that A was wrong or B was wrong. It's just it's a personal choice, and it's nice to have two people to sort of go back and forth over. And sometimes we uncover some things that we didn't even realize was out there or was an issue.
It is really cool to watch the interaction, and I got to tell you, folks. If you tune in to the show just today and you never tune us in again, you're going to miss a great opportunity to be part of our conversations. Joni and I worked together for a little over a year now, but we've known each other a long time. We've been on field trips together with our kids as they've gone through school. That's always interesting. We can't tell any of those stories on the radio, or the people who really know us will come after me.
We have to have a disclaimer for that one, Mark.
I think so. But we had a lot of fun. The kids are great. As we go through life, it is so fun to interact with people because finances is such a big part of people's life. You know, it's one of the big concerns they have. Do I have enough money? Will I have enough money? And, you know, we're talking to our population here, a lot of senior folks. They're saying, do I have enough money to survive retirement? What's my cash flow? What's my income? All those, I call them sometimes ticky-tack things. You have some great insight into a lot of those things, and you're going to share those from time to time on the radio show.
Oh, absolutely. We'd like to be able to help people to put you at ease and as to, where you are, where you're going, what you have, and do you have enough? A lot of people are very worried about that, especially in the economy and things that are going on now. So everybody needs to understand what they own, why they own it, what their plan is, and what things we can do as a team, you and I, along with the client, can do together to get them to do what they want to do.
So you just tiptoed into a little bit of our message of what we are at our company.
I did, didn't I?
You're very good at that. And our company is Nepsis Advisor Services. We are located in Sarasota at University and I-75. And I forgot the phone number. What's our phone number? I didn't really, but
941-361-1484.
And we got a great landing page if you're on the web, folks, gulfcoast.nepsisadvisors.com. I'll spell that for you. N-E-P, P as in Paul, S-I-S, advisors.com. gulfcoast.nepsisadvisors.com. And you can check out Joni's cool-looking picture and some other information about us.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome, as always, Joni. So we're going to go into a quick break. And we'll be back, and we're going to talk about
Joni.
Thank you for joining Journeys with Joni, Financial Clarity Conversations, today and every Wednesday on Sunny 1450 and 1320. This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Journey with Joni. I'm Joni Rametta, joined here by my co-host, Mark Clark. And just before the break, we were talking about Nepsis Advisor Services and our experiences. And I said that after the break, we're going to start talking about me. But actually, I think we need to switch it up a little bit, Mark. We need to talk about them.
I love left turns in the road, talking about them. This will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what we're finding is I find out that there's a lot of questions out there, and people just don't know what an experience with a financial planner or a financial advisor really should feel like. And I think a lot of people think it's a little scary, a little intimidating, and maybe I just don't know enough to ask the right questions. So maybe we should talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people get very technical, and, people, my wife, Joni, other folks that I know in my life have told me I'm unemotional, and specifically as a guy in the financial planning world, I tend to go tactical. I tend to just want to fix the problem. In fact, oftentimes when I'm going through the house, my wife wants something fixed. I just want to fix the problem so it goes away. Or she wants to tell me about something, and I just want to fix the problem so it goes away. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of emotion attached to the journey, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times I think in the financial business, a lot of us just use a lot of the little sayings and the little abbreviations that, go with the business. And we just assume that everybody knows what it means. And that's not always true.
And I think you have to have the relationship before people really understand buy low, sell high, or any of the other stuff that people talk about.
I think actually at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about those buy low and sell high type of things. I think it has to do with the relationship that you have with your advisor. So
I got a question for you. Now, we will talk maybe a little bit later today, but definitely in the next show about some of the more strategic things of investing, because you do have a very special message that you deliver in your office. But life has some interesting things that it deals to us. It deals change. You wake up today thinking it's going to be one way, and all of a sudden, as we joked about when we started this segment, all of a sudden it's a left turn. We were going to talk about Joni, now we're going to talk about the clients, which is cool. But oftentimes people are faced with challenges. Retirement is one. Loss of a spouse is one. And we've had some awesome opportunities this year to serve some clients. We've had some folks that have lost a spouse. And what are some of the things that in our conversations we've had with these folks that they've faced?
Well, sometimes when you lose a spouse, if the spouse was the person who had the checkbook, maybe even made the paycheck, sort of fixed the plumbing and dealt with the roofers and all that kind of stuff, and that person's gone, that's a pretty big shock to wake up to the next morning going, who's going to take care of me and how am I going to do this? And you know what? Where's the money? And can I even afford to go buy groceries? Where do I get the money from?
And where does it keep coming from?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I've watched you interact with the clients that we've served and we're working with, and they find you very warm and friendly because you have some personal experience. Being a single mom, you're a lot more empathetic than a guy like me would be oftentimes.
Well, that's just because I'm a girl.
Well, it is. But you've been, I know you're only 29, but you've been in the business how long?
30 years.
I found something else really interesting. You made mention to your dad. Your dad brought you into the business, and so you've kind of grown up in it, have you?
Yeah. Way back when I heard all the words and I heard about all that stuff, and I had an account when I was young, and I used to be able to make decisions about where I can invest and stuff. And a lot of times, they didn't mean a lot of things back then, but as you start working with him and you get out of college and you get your first job, and actually the first job was like alphabetizing statements. That was a terrible job. But, then you start to listen to the clients and you start to listen to the things that you're doing to help people, and you're solving some problems that somebody had when they walked in the door, and they leave the door and they feel much better. You start to see that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, it's like, I can do this too. So I started doing that several years ago, and I absolutely enjoy it because it's really nice to take the fear out of somebody's face when they walk in the door and have them walk out smiling, saying, you know what, I can do it too.
Well, it's nice to be part of a team, isn't it? Very few, your boys played sports. My son and daughters have played sports, and yes, I've had some cheerleaders, and they will strangle me if I say cheerleading's not a sport. But we like to be part of a team, and that's the approach you can bring to the table. And as you work with aren't there other people we would interact with, especially if life deals a change, like CPAs and attorneys?
Oh, absolutely. They're very important. Clients, you're not in it by yourself. You've got coaches, you've got CPAs, you've got attorneys, you've got advisors, you've got family. All those people need to become part of your team and help you get from where you are to where you want to be.
And for somebody that either has had a life change, and we've had a couple of those this year.
We've had.
Or we have somebody that's possibly anticipating a life change because of an illness or things coming up. I've watched them interact with you, and I've watched how they've come through the beginnings of the migration of you, if you will, because of how you've taken care of them and helped them as a team approach. And they've felt empowered. And I think that's really neat, and I've watched that. And I know there's some appointments you've got coming up with other advisors and some things, people, the legal documents and all that good stuff. You're pretty good at working through those with people.
Well, I try my best. It's sort of like, you almost have to have a to-do list. Have we done this, 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 and this? We need to start at number one. Do you know where the checkbook is? All the way up to, maybe changing your IRA beneficiaries or making some changes with, legal documents and working with your attorney. It's about all of us working together for the benefit of what you want to have happen.
And it's a lot of fun. And we mentioned that our company name, folks, is Nepsis Advisor Services. We are located at the corner of
I-75 in University.
It's a pretty cool office. And we're on the 3rd floor. Nice short elevator trip, right?
Oh, absolutely. Very short.
Okay. And we're going to talk about some events we're going to have coming up in the next segment as we wrap the show up. But one of the things we want to talk about when we come back from the break is Nepsis. Nepsis Advisor Services, kind of a unique word, isn't it?
It's absolutely an unique word. It's a Greek word.
Greek word. And I'm not going to tell you what it is now because we're running out of time, but we're going to talk about that in the next segment of the show. So stick around, come back and listen to more conversations, or as Joni puts it,
Journeys with Joni.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Thank you for joining Journeys with Joni, Financial Clarity Conversations, today and every Wednesday on Sunny 1450 and 1320.
Welcome back to Journey with Joni. This is Joni Rametta. Thank you for joining us today. Before the break, we were talking about Nepsis Advisor Services. Mark, that word Nepsis, what's that mean?
I have no idea. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, Nepsis is a Greek word. They're rolling their... I'm in trouble here, folks. Nepsis is a Greek word that means to be watchful and vigilant. What a cool definition for a financial company.
That is cool. So exactly how does that play into the investment process, Mark?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Joni. We have a blog site from the corporate level, and the web address is investingwithclarity.com. Now, if you're driving down the road, you're listening at work when you're supposed to be doing your work, jot it down real quick, investingwithclarity.com. And I know I'm going to get in trouble if I go into the depths of investing today because, yes, this is an investment show, but we're going to save that for another show later on. And by the way, that reminds me, we're going to do a workshop on investing with clarity. When are we doing that workshop?
January 23rd, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. at our offices, University Parkway and I-75.
And what's for dinner when we have those?
It'll probably be a wine and cheese, Mark.
Wine and cheese. Oh, no
wine
filet mignon. We're gonna have
filet mignons.
Wine and cheese is a lot of fun, especially when you're talking about investing with clarity. The cool thing about investing with clarity is our one of our catchphrases is know what you own and why you own it. And when we have sat down and done an analysis of a client, and I'm going to ask you a question about one of our clients in a few minutes here, Joni. I'm not going to mention their name or we'll all get in trouble. But when we sit down and we do an analysis of someone's investment portfolio, obviously after we've built a relationship with them, it's amazing to help them discover what they really didn't know about their investment portfolio. But then going forward, when they're working with us, people call us back and they say, well, I really have an understanding like I've never had before. And, recently we had a client that we were talking before the break in the past segment about life changes, and they had a life change. And this spouse had really no idea what they had in investment portfolios because the other spouse did it. And I know the response that we got when we made the presentation, we walked through it, was pretty positive.
Oh, it was very positive. Absolutely, giving a lot of clarity what they had.
And the thing I remember talking to this person was they knew they had investments before, but they didn't know why they had what they had in their portfolio. And investing world is kind of tough, and I know we have 4 key components to the Nepsis story. We're not going to talk about those today. They are philosophy. We have a philosophy. We have a strategy behind what we do, and we have flexibility. We'll talk about that, and we have transparency. And I know transparency is very important, especially when we circle back around to the relationship. And when we're building the relationship and we're working with our clients, especially when you come from it from the perspective of relationship first and understanding the life change, that's one of the things that is very, very, very important. Before the break, we were also talking about you being independent and relating this back to the client. You chose to go independent, open your own office. Why did you make that choice, Joni, to go independent?
I think I made that choice probably because I really found that I wanted the clients to be first. And I think it's very important that the relationship that we have with the clients puts the clients in the driver's seat, that it's all about them. It's not about me.
And independence allows you to do that
Independence allows me to do a lot of things that I maybe couldn't do in some other situations, and it gives me a lot of flexibility. But at the same time, partnering up with Nepsis, I'm not by myself.
It's nice to be on a team, isn't it?
It's awesome to be on a team. And if I can be on a team, I want my clients to be a part of the team too. So it's all about all of us being on a team because none of us should be all alone.
That's true. And I've noticed as we work with our clients, they love the team approach. And, Nepsis, to have clarity. We talked in the previous segment of the show, and we'll talk about this in our workshop on investing with clarity. But especially when you have a life change, when things change in life, life throws you the curve. Clarity is very important as you begin to think about the changes that could come. You find that a topic that happens all the time, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Because you know what? I mean, just picture, dirty water. If you can't see the bottom of the ocean, you don't want to walk in it. You can't see what's down there. You don't know what's going to, maybe tickle your toes or take a little bite out of your leg or something. But if you have clarity and you can see the bottom, you know exactly what to expect. And everybody should know what to expect. So
you said independent, not alone, and the life change. So if you're talking about the team approach, we oftentimes will go on appointments with our clients to the CPA office or go with them to the attorney's office and help people migrate through the landmines of that change. It's been a challenge for some folks.
Well, and a lot of times people that are going through a life change, I mean, there's a lot of emotion attached to that, and they're thinking about 16 million other things. You could be sitting there. I mean, as a single mom, I'm sitting there thinking about, well, yeah, but I got to go home and fix dinner tonight, and what am I going to have for dinner, and how am I going to get them to baseball practice, and all those kind of things. So sometimes it's better to have a second set of ears, somebody that's going to hear something that maybe you missed, or is going to ask that question that you had, but you lost it in all of your thought processes and all that kind of stuff. So it's always nice to have somebody else on your team being there to try and help you get through these things.
And I know as we began to work together, especially in the Nepsis world, to be watchful and vigilant, to have clarity, to have a clear and sober mind. And when people are going through some of the changes, or people are just in the dark, they're trying to say, well, I've gone along with life, and que sera, one spouse takes care of everything. But you do a good job of helping people really peel back the onion and have an understanding of what a lot of the terms mean. I know, folks, I get in trouble all the time being the guy. I want to talk tactical. But Joni does a good job talking about the finances that relates to the person and what the effect is on them. And you found independence really allows you to do that as compared to being in a captive situation where somebody else is telling you what to do.
Right. I mean, and in this situation when you're independent, it's about being partners with your clients and doing what's right for the client. Because if I do what's right for you, it's going to be right for me too. I need to sleep at night as well. So it's not about pushing product. It's not about, you have to fit in this hole, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. It's about, where are you? What do you need? What do you need today? And, sometimes changes take a long time. It may take us months to get to where you really want to be, but we'll get you there.
Okay, coach. You sound like a financial coach. You're a financial coach too, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, there's 4 quarters in a football game, and,
4 key components to Nepsis.
4 key components to Nepsis, and we go through each one of them.
As we migrate through the radio show today, folks, it's tough for you to interact with us, but one of the coolest things you will experience, you mentioned this, the workshop we're going to have, one of the coolest things that will happen is you get to meet Joni. And Joni's a lot of fun. Yeah, she's a single mom. I do know her boys. We have a lot of fun together. But the fact of the matter is the opportunity to interact with her and get to know her before you hire us as a firm and begin to work with us is pretty unique. And I'm excited about the opportunity. The workshop again is when, Joni?
It's Thursday, January 23rd, 5:30 in our offices.
And where are we located?
We're located at 6230 University Parkway, Suite 305. That's the 3rd floor of the Home Bank building.
There's only three floors, so you can't get lost. It's the building is located. It's kind of tricky. It's located next to the Lakewood Ranch Welcome Center. So if you get stuck in the parking lot, we're the only 3-story building in the area. And you could call us at 941-361-1484. That's
361-1484, area code 941, or go to gulfcoast.nepsis Advisors, NEPSIS Advisors.com.
And we look forward to meeting with you. We know we're going to have some wine and cheese. We'll have a lot of conversation. We'll have a lot of laughs. I might be able to tell a few jokes if Joni lets me, but it'll be a lot of fun. So y'all need to come out and check us out. And what are some of we were talking here before the break as we're getting ready to wrap the show up. We're going to talk about some other topics on other shows. What could people, tune in to next time? Why should they listen to us?
I think next time we'll talk a little bit about investing with clarity and the 4 key components. We'll probably have a show or two about women. Some of the challenges that women have are a little bit different than the men. And so we'll knock down some of those little walls and see what we can do there. And just, different things as time goes on.
We have tax time coming up. We talked to a CPA about coming on with us. Happens to be a female CPA as well. The women thing, that the event you're going to do, they said no guys, so they're not inviting me to that. So it'll be a lot of fun.
No, you're not allowed to come, Mark.
I'm not allowed to come. So,
well, thank you for sharing this time with us today. I hope that you learned a little bit about Journey with Joni. We look forward to speaking with you all again. If you're ready to have that conversation, start building a relationship, please don't hesitate to give us a call, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484. Or visit us at gulfcoast.nepsisadvisors.com. We look forward to talking to you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Tune in to Sunny 1320 and 1450 Wednesdays at 11:30 to Journeys with Joni. You'll learn more about the financial decisions we make every day and how we can gain financial clarity in our lives. So join Joni Rametta Wednesdays at 11:30 here on Sunny.